I should have listened to my girlfriend when she told me not to take this apartment. It's too cheap, she'd said. Nothing in this neighborhood goes for that price unless something's wrong with it. But I was desperate. Recent grad, entry-level salary, mountains of student debt. When the landlord showed me the place, I didn't ask questions. I just signed the lease. The bathroom mirror was the first thing I noticed after moving in. It was old, really old, with an ornate brass frame that didn't match anything else in the apartment. The glass had a strange quality to it, slightly darker than modern mirrors, like looking through tinted water. There was a note taped to the frame. Yellowed paper, the edges curling with age. The handwriting was shaky, urgent. Never clean the glass. Never look into it after midnight. If your reflection lags, leave the room immediately. Never let it smile first. If you see someone else behind you, don't turn around. I laughed when I first read it. Some previous tenant's idea of a joke, probably. Urban legend material. I almost threw it away, but something made me tape it back up. Just in case, I told myself. Just for the aesthetic. The first few weeks were normal. I followed the rules without really meaning to. I'm not much of a night owl, so I was usually asleep by midnight. The mirror got dusty, sure, but I left it alone. Seemed easier than cleaning it anyway. Then I started noticing small things. When I brushed my teeth in the morning, sometimes my reflection would finish the motion a half-second after I did. Nothing dramatic. Just a slight delay, like a video call with bad connection. I'd remember the third rule and feel a chill run down my spine, but I'd tell myself it was just my imagination. Trick of the light. Old glass doing weird things with reflections. I never left the room, though. I just look away, finish up quickly, and try not to think about it. Rule 4 was harder. I'm not someone who smiles a lot in the mirror. Never have been. But one morning, while checking if I had anything stuck in my teeth, I caught my reflection's expression shift before mine did. Just barely. A slight upturn of the lips that I wasn't making yet, that I quickly matched without thinking. It was my smile. My exact smile. But it had started on the other side of the glass. I stood there for a long moment, staring at myself, trying to figure out if I'd imagined it. The reflection stared back, perfectly synchronized now, perfectly normal. Just me looking at me. I started avoiding the mirror after that. I'd brush my teeth looking down at the sink, wash my face with my eyes closed, shave by feel. My girlfriend noticed during her visits. "Why don't you ever use your bathroom mirror?" she asked one evening. "It's dirty," I said. "Makes me look weird." "So clean it." "I like it dirty." She gave me a strange look but didn't push. We spent the night at her place instead. It was about a month in when I broke the rule. I'd been out with coworkers, celebrating someone's promotion. Lost track of time. Lost track of how many drinks I'd had. I stumbled home around 1:30 in the morning, desperately needing to use the bathroom. I flicked on the light without thinking, did what I needed to do, washed my hands, and looked up. My reflection was already looking at me. Not the way reflections normally work, not that simultaneous moment of meeting your own eyes. It was looking at me. Its head was slightly turned, angled toward me, like it had been watching the door, waiting for me to come in. I froze, hands dripping water into the sink. The rules. The second rule. Never look into it after midnight. My reflection smiled. Not my smile this time. Something else. Something wider, more knowing. Its eyes were my eyes, but there was something behind them I didn't recognize. Something that had been waiting a very long time for someone to make a mistake. I wanted to run, wanted to bolt out of the bathroom and never come back. But I couldn't move, couldn't even blink. My reflection raised one hand slowly and pressed its palm flat against the glass from the other side. Then it knocked. 3 sharp raps, clear and distinct. The sound echoed in the small bathroom, impossibly loud. I stumbled backward, finally breaking whatever held me frozen. My hip hit the doorknob hard enough to bruise. The pain snapped me fully alert, adrenaline burning away the alcohol fog. When I looked back at the mirror, my reflection was normal again. Just me, pale and terrified, hands trembling at my sides. But I could still hear it, that sound. Knock, knock, knock. I left the light on and closed the door, wedged a towel under the gap at the bottom. It didn't help. I could still hear it from my bedroom. Steady, patient, rhythmic. Knock, knock, knock. It knocked all night. I didn't sleep, just lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to that sound echo through my apartment. 3 knocks, then silence, then 3 more. Over and over, like someone trying to find the rhythm that would finally get me to answer. When dawn finally came, the knocking stopped. I called in sick to work, spent the day researching, trying to find anything about mirrors with rules, about reflections that knock. I found plenty of urban legends, creepypasta, horror stories. Nothing that felt real, nothing that told me what I'd let in by looking after midnight. That evening, I stood outside the bathroom door for 20 minutes before I finally opened it. The mirror looked the same. Old brass frame, dark glass, the note still taped to the corner, rules written in that shaky hand. My reflection showed me exactly what I expected to see. An exhausted guy who hadn't slept, dark circles under his eyes, hair a mess. But as I watched, my reflection raised its hand, slowly, deliberately, and knocked on the glass from the inside. 3 times. I closed the door, locked it. That was 2 weeks ago. It knocks every night now, sometimes just 3 times, sometimes for hours. Always the same patient rhythm. I've stopped using that bathroom entirely. Started using the building's gym down the street just to shower. My girlfriend keeps asking what's wrong. I don't know how to explain. The landlord won't return my calls about breaking the lease. Last time I went by his office, the secretary said he doesn't handle that building anymore. Hasn't for years. When I asked who does, she just shook her head and told me she couldn't help me. I went back to the apartment yesterday to grab some clothes. The bathroom door was open. I know I'd left it closed, locked even. But it was standing wide open, light spilling out into the hallway. The knocking had stopped. I stood in my living room, staring down that hallway, every instinct screaming at me to leave. But I had to know, had to see. I walked to the bathroom doorway, didn't go in, just looked. The note was gone from the mirror frame. The glass was spotless, cleaner than it had ever been, reflecting the bathroom with perfect clarity. And in that reflection I could see everything. The sink, the shower, the window. And standing behind me, just over my left shoulder, someone else. I remember the 5th rule. If you see someone else behind you, don't turn around. My reflection's lips moved. I couldn't hear the words, but I could read them in the mirror. You let me out. I wanted to run, wanted to turn around despite the rule, to see if anyone was really there. But I could feel it. Breath on the back of my neck, the sense of someone standing just inches behind me, patient and waiting. I'm writing this from a coffee shop 3 blocks away. I can't go back to the apartment, can't go back to that mirror. But I keep thinking about what I saw, about that figure standing behind me. And I keep wondering, if I didn't turn around, does that mean it's still standing there? Still waiting right behind where I was, frozen in that moment? Or did following the fifth rule even matter anymore after I'd already broken the second? My phone keeps buzzing. Text messages from my girlfriend. She's at my apartment. She says she's worried about me, that my bathroom light is on, and she can hear something. She's asking if I have guests over. She's asking why someone in my bathroom keeps knocking. I should call her, should tell her to leave, should warn her about the rules. But I'm afraid if I do, I'll have to explain which rule I broke. And I'm more afraid she'll ask what happened to the person I saw standing behind me in the mirror. Because I think I'm starting to remember who they were. Starting to remember why the handwriting on that note looked so familiar. Why my reflection smiled that way. Why it knew exactly how to wait. I think I've been here before. I think I wrote those rules. The coffee shop has a bathroom. There's a mirror in it. I haven't looked yet. Haven't checked to see if the person behind me is still there or if they followed me here. I'm afraid if I look, I'll see that there's no one behind me at all. That I'll see my reflection standing alone, smiling that too wide smile. And I'm afraid that this time, I'll smile back.